Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft. Give me a second. Sorry, my mustache was missing from using my mustache locator machine in the previous Redstone video. Anyway, in today's Hermitcraft episode, I just want to start off by mentioning two very important things. I've been reading through your comments and a lot of you have been asking me, number one, about terraforming, when the terraforming is going to be happening. Now, of course, Scar is in control of this and me and Scar have been going back and forth about the plans and what we're going to be doing. It's a work in progress. Obviously, this is a massive project and Scar really wants to get it right. So do not worry, that is going to be happening. The next thing that I want to mention is, I do own all of these islands. A lot of people are mentioning that I've actually forgotten that these islands are also mine. And I do have some plans for them. Now, I'm thinking, okay, so this is the one that is the furthest away. So this is my last island. I actually think that this island is a little bit close. Yeah, it's just... Whoa! I was about to say that I wanted to build a mob farm over there, but we've basically already got... Look at that! That is so ridiculous. That is completely insane. But yeah, what I want to do, my plan is for that island, is to actually create a mob farm over here that then the items fall through into the island and then they get transported across actually into my island or into this storage system right here. I think that would be pretty sweet, but it's a little bit closer than I thought, and the furthest one's a little bit far away, and obviously that one is way too close as well. I've also just thought that I think it would be really cool. I've always built my mob farms up in the sky in every single Hermitcraft season. I'd love to build one that was actually really close to bedrock, because that actually increases spawning rates for some reason that the technical people understand, but that could work out really nicely. Anyway, we're not going to be working on that today. I've actually got a different farm that I want to build, and that is a sugarcane farm. Now, this is probably going to be constructed off in this area right here, and we're going to be using flying machines, because let's face it, flying machines are pretty cool. So this is the area that I've actually got laid out for our sugarcane farm. Now, the actual farm itself is going to be 19 blocks wide, because that's how wide our flying machine is going to be, and then the minecarts are going to be picking up all of the items going across like this. That's essentially how this thing is going to function. Now, of course, when you're using flying machines, they have a high likelihood of breaking, so I think the way that I'm going to do it is I'm only going to have the flying machines activatable when I'm standing on a specific pressure plate. So I have to be AFK on a pressure plate for this machine to be working. I think that's the only way that I can really do it. I don't know what's going on with me today. My words are just coming out in like a jumble, so if things aren't making sense, then yeah, just try your best to ignore it. But anyway, I've created our first little module right here. This dolphin has come by to check it out. It looks like he likes it. What we've got is we've got the minecarts that will run across the top here. They'll then dump the items into these hoppers. We'll have a redstone line running across this side, which will send out the minecarts to pick up all the items once this thing's harvested. And then we have these little dropper systems down at the bottom here, which are going to be dropping out all of the items from all the modules into a water stream, which will then take all of those items, I guess, into this little pipeline right here, which this spider has just checked out, and that will take all of the items up into our storage system in the sphere. Yeah, it's all starting to make sense. So I've got to build a bunch of these going all the way across. Oh no, I've just flown away from this thing because I've run out of stone, and it's just, well, it's a big platform at this point in time. And I believe for the most part, it is under the part of my base that is going to make it very shadowy. And to top it all off, it's actually getting dark at this point in time, which definitely isn't going to help our cause. Thankfully, it was actually fine. For the most part, this place isn't covered. There's just a few dark spots in this corner over here. But anyway, we have got everything all in place with our build, and this is what it's going to look like, or at least this is what the bottom is looking like. On top of this, we're going to have a bunch of grass, and then we're going to have all of the sugarcane. On top of these blocks is actually where our minecarts are going to be going. So they're going to go up like this, loop around the back there, and then make their way back here. And this is the pickup system. It's going to be really, really nice and simple. So I guess I'm going to need tons of minecart rails. And yeah, I don't know if I've actually got any of those. Now, I know that Tango actually sells rails, but I feel like it's a better deal for me to buy the iron blocks and then I can provide the sticks. 1 diamond for 8 hoppers. Okay, that's not so great. Yeah, okay, I think I'm going to manually craft it, but just make use of these 18 stacks of iron that I've just got. Now, I really would love to use the Hermitcraft stock exchange, but here's the problem. I am the most risk-averse person on the planet. I'm terrified of all forms of monetary risk, and more importantly, I don't actually have any diamonds, really, as we just saw there. Wow, I'm really struggling to take off. You know, one thing that we're really lacking in my base is crafting tables. I think I've only got one crafting table in this entire area right here, and it's hidden away between these junk chests. It's just in this corner. I think that's something that we really need to fill up my base with. Anyway, aside from that, this is now pretty much all done in terms of minecart rails. You just place one there, then place one there, then take this out. And these blocks are where the redstone line is going to be going, which is going to be sending our minecarts off. Okay, so this is good. This is good. This is a really strong start. So now what I'm thinking is that we actually build up the sugarcane farm itself. Now the way that the sugarcane farm is laid out is that the blocks go on top of these minecart rails, and then in these gaps here, we will have lines, and this is where our water goes, because obviously our sugarcane needs to be hydrated. So that will go right the way across like this. And then all we need is the flying machine, and that's the harvesting done. It's a really, really simple system. Actually, before I do absolutely anything and get all of this sand in place, I think it's probably a good idea for me to chuck down a crafting bench and actually try out a minecart hopper in this thing. So if we craft up one of these, and then we craft up one of those. Okay, then we just need one button or a lever, and that is it tested. Now hopefully it will make its way back. I was kind of worried that that wasn't actually going to be enough power to make it all the way round, but it looks like it is. Okay, that's perfect. I just thought I'd try that out before I place in all of the sand, then need to take out all of the sand so that I can replace the rest. Oh my word, I can't imagine how that would feel if I had done that. Now I don't know if I'm going crazy here, but this rabbit is definitely following me. Am I holding something that rabbits like? Or do rabbits always just follow players? Or is this my rabbit? Oh, I'm holding carrots! Of course I am! Well, I suppose... No, is he... Does he not like me anymore? What? I gave you a golden carrot and you've done this! That is... Oh, honestly, I can't quite wrap my head around what just happened. I think he just got the carrot and ran. It's ridiculous. You know, I've just been thinking. So I crafted up the buckets so that I could do the water for this thing. And I've crafted up the buckets. Now, where are all my buckets going? Because every single time I make a farm, I craft up buckets for it. And then I can never find them again. Like, they're just gone. They just disappear. Anyway, regardless of my bucket lossage, this is what our farm is currently looking like. So we've got all the sand going across, we've got all of the water in place, ready to place in all of the sugarcane. So everything is coming together fairly nicely. Now, this design is actually inspired by one by Nembomb. So I'll put a link to that one down in the description because, well, Nembomb is like one of the best in terms of technical Minecraft videos. They're super, super interesting. The way that he creates the videos is absolutely fantastic. And this, of course, is his video on sugarcane farms. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover up all of these water streams with immovable objects so that when the flying machine travels over, some of the sugarcane will land on top of these immovable objects, but then when the flying machine comes back, it will knock it off the immovable object, it will then land on top of this sand, and then it can easily be picked up by our hopper minecart. So it means that the design is pretty much going to be lossless. This was one of the first shops on the Hermitcraft server, and I refuse to believe that it's still stocked. But it is. And I'm guessing it's 1 diamond. 2 stacks for 1 diamond. That's even better than I was expecting. So with all of our water streams covered up, it's now finally time for the exciting bit. The actual harvesting machine. The thing that is going to be taking out all of the sugarcane here. And I think I've run out of glass. But I think it would be cool to have some form of glass on the edge of this thing. But do I really... Okay, yeah, glass panes, that'll do the trick. So let's give this thing a whirl. If we flick this lever... Okay, so that is our harvester, and it is making its way across, and that is going to be breaking off all of the sugarcane that is growed. Now, I'm hoping that next time I go to say grown, I don't say growed, because that's definitely not a word. But I'm also hoping that when it reaches the end here, we should get yeah, the system has fired, and this thing is now making its way back, and it will go back to this launch area here, and hopefully it doesn't get stuck or break or do anything ridiculous in this area. And that is actually all of the redstone logic completed. I mean, seriously, that is a really, really simple farm. There we go. That's it. Nice. Another zombie villager has spawned, and I want to be able to keep them. I think at some point soon, I'm going to just smelt up a ton of potions of weakness, and then I'm going to have like a zombie villager kit. All right? Because I need to get some villagers in my base, and that seems like a sensible way to do it. Now we need to make sure that none of the items can actually make their way out of this machine, because obviously that would be bad news if all of the sugarcane was just flying out the sides. So I've placed in furnaces here. These are all immovable objects, and we've got furnaces behind that flying machine there too. And then I think I'm just going to wrap up the entire thing in a 3-high wall of glass. Or even 4 blocks high, just to stop any bouncers from bouncing out. Yeah, this is going to be perfect. That's going to be absolutely perfect. So all of the sugarcane is going to be taken out. There's absolutely no chance of any of the sugarcane falling on the outside of the boundaries, and I'm hoping that none of the glass I've placed there is going to break the system, but it doesn't look like it has. Wonderful. Okay, what happens next? I guess we have to do all of the minecart systems and all of the item transportation systems and everything like that. Still plenty of work left to do. Oh, and of course, yeah, the actual sugarcane itself is missing. Should I do that now? Yeah, I should do that now. How do I do that now? I don't actually have any sugarcane. Does anyone sell sugarcane? Who has a sugarcane farm? I really don't know. Am I allowed to harvest this? This place is beautiful, by the way. Really, really pretty, and a super cool building style. But I want to take that sugarcane. 2 diamonds for 32. Okay, that is a good price. So that's that. And then 2 diamonds for 64. Also a pretty good price. You know, Scar's prices are actually pretty decent in this place. I should probably use it more often. Now, the reason that we need all of these comparators and repeaters is because, of course, we need to create the little auto dropper systems, which are going to allow the items that are being produced by our sugarcane farm to be shot out into our water stream. So this should be a fairly simple process. Redstone there, redstone there. You would think I have probably built over 1,000 of these things in my time. Sometimes I still build them wrong. This looks pretty cool. I can imagine it will also be an enormous lag generator when it kicks into action. There's no two ways about it. It's gonna... Yeah, that's why this thing's not going to be running all the time, because all those items it's just going to be bad news. Anyway, we need to create the water stream, which is going to run across the front here. And I mean, I guess we could actually flow the items into the center. That might make more sense, as this is the pipeline here. I have just had a thought, though. What if an item lands like this, just on the pressure plate, just like that? So I'm going to give this a test. If we run this, and let's say, do I have... Okay, 49 repeaters. Now, do any of them get stuck? Okay, that one got launched out. Ignore that, because we're going to place blocks over the top. But it looks like that's not going to be a cause for concern. Okay, that's brilliant news. I suddenly went into a state of panic then. I think at all times during Hermitcraft Season 6, I've had some form of egg in my inventory. At some point, we're going to have to anti-Poultry Man my base and just destroy all of the chickens, then maybe send some form of message to Poultry Man that this is unacceptable. Alright, so as I said earlier on, the way that this thing's going to be controlled is we're going to be using a hopper clock that is going to be connected up to some form of pressure plate. So this right here is where I will have to stand, I guess, to allow the pressure plate, to allow the hopper clock to actually work. Otherwise, the hopper clock will be locked. Okay, so then if we, I guess if we place in some form of repeater setup and then create a monostable circuit, that is what is going to be firing into our observer, or into this piston right here, which is then going to be activating our observer, which will then kickstart the farm. I think this makes sense. So all we need is a bunch of items to put inside the hopper clock, and I would say that granite, which is by far the ugliest block in the game, is probably a good contender. So that is 3 stacks. Okay, granite, diorite, and then, I mean, I guess a little bit of stone. So that's that bit done. What else is there to do? Is it finished? Okay, of course, yeah, the hopper minecarts, and then we actually need to build up the redstone line that is going to connect up those hopper minecarts. And I think the way that I'm actually going to do that is I'm going to use an observer which will detect when the flying machine comes back, and then it will fire off the minecarts. That seems like the simplest way to do it. Nice, that's all looking good. I think we can test this for the first time. All right. I can hear hopper minecarts, and I can hear droppers. So items are going into the water streams. That's all looking good. And then I'm guessing, so this hopper minecart, how many? Because we need it to be a decently long length of time. We don't want we don't want this thing to just get back and then it goes straight away again, because that's going to generate a lot of lag. But here we should see, we are going to lose some. Okay, there is going to be some lossage involved because, of course, some have landed on top of those leaves there. But for the most part, all of the sugarcane should eventually make its way onto the sand. And then once again, we should actually get our hopper minecarts be sent out once more. Yep. And they will pick up all the sugarcane that is on the floor. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Nice. Now I'm just wondering, is the hopper clock a little bit too fast? I've filled it up entirely. It's as full can be. But it's probably about 1 minute away from harvesting again. And as you can see, we've not had a single sugarcane grow. And I really don't want this thing to be firing pointlessly. So we could end up using some form of observer detector system, a system that actually detects when one piece of sugarcane grows enough, then the entire farm will fire. So it's like a controlled piece of sugarcane. Might be a potentially better option. Yeah, because I've been sat here for probably about 2 cycles of the hopper clock, and still nothing. We haven't even got a single piece growing. Almost feels like something's gone wrong on the server. Seriously. So yeah, I'm going to take out the hopper clock. We're going to replace it with an observer. And this new system should work much, much better. So we've got a little redstone torch, which is stopping the signal from traveling through. But when I stand on top of it, that will allow the signal to travel through. So I am going to shut myself inside this area here. And I'm going to go AFK for about an hour. And we're just going to see how much we get from half the farm being populated, because obviously I want to fill this in fully. So this super fast time lapse is actually going to be a super fast time lapse. I was reading through my comments the other day, and someone who's been watching for a long time pointed out that actually my super fast time lapses were their own special thing, and regular time lapses were just called time lapse chats. I don't know how I've managed to get those two things confused in my head, but now super fast time lapses are going to be back at this sort of speed, whereas time lapse chats will go on for a little while longer. Hope you enjoyed. Right, I am back. I have actually just gone and run some hills, so I am feeling absolutely exhausted at this point in time. But I thought I would pop back onto the server to see how well this thing has worked. And as I came through the door, it was actually harvesting, which is a very promising sign. I was about to say, if that chest is filled, then that is totally, totally ridiculous. Oh my, I can't laugh anymore, my chest hurts. Wait, hang on a minute. I've just watched back the footage. It harvested once. That's it. So we saw the only harvest. I suppose that's cool in a way. I mean, it means that it was very, very slow. Well, either way, that's gone pretty well. For half a farm, that isn't too bad. I'm fairly happy with this thing. But I guess, yeah, I mean, I suppose that just shows you how slow sugarcane actually grows. Either way, we now have ourselves a fully functioning sugarcane farm. It is working absolutely perfectly. I will fill in all of the remaining sugarcane now that we've actually got all of that stuff, but I'm really happy with this thing, and I really do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.